Good morning. Please come in slowly, take a comfortable seat, and do not feel nervous, because I understand that visiting a lawyer for the first time can be stressful, and my goal is to help you understand everything clearly and calmly without any confusion.
Good morning. Thank you very much for welcoming me in such a kind way, because I was honestly feeling a little anxious before coming here, and I was not sure how to explain my problem properly in English.
That is completely understandable, and you do not need to worry at all, because you can take your time, speak slowly, and even repeat yourself if necessary, since my job is to listen carefully and guide you step by step.
Thank you for saying that, because it makes me feel more relaxed, and I believe I will be able to explain my situation better if I do not feel pressured or rushed.
Now, whenever you are ready, please start from the beginning and explain what happened, including any important details, because even small information can be useful in legal situations.
All right, I will start from the beginning and try to explain everything in order. So, a few months ago, I decided to start a small business with a person whom I trusted, and we agreed to work together as partners.
That sounds like a good starting point. And can you tell me what kind of business you started and what roles each of you had in the company?
Yes, we started a small online business where we sell electronic products, and my role was to manage the finances and customer communication, while my partner was responsible for purchasing products and handling suppliers.
I see. So both of you had clearly defined responsibilities, which is very important in a partnership because it helps avoid misunderstandings later.
Yes, exactly. And in the beginning, everything was going well, and we were both cooperating and communicating regularly. But after some time, things started to change.
Please explain what changes you noticed and try to describe the situation as clearly as possible.
After about 2 months, my partner started making decisions without informing me, and he also stopped sharing financial details, which made me feel uncomfortable and suspicious.
That is indeed concerning because transparency is very important in any business partnership, especially when it involves money.
Yes, and another problem is that he delayed sharing profits, even though we agreed to divide the profits equally at the end of each month.
Did you discuss this issue with him directly, and if so, what was his response?
Yes, I tried to talk to him politely several times, and I asked him to explain the situation, but he gave unclear answers and sometimes avoided the conversation completely.
I understand how frustrating that must feel, because when someone avoids communication, it creates doubt and tension in the relationship.
Yes, I felt very disappointed and stressed because I trusted him completely, and now I feel like that trust has been broken.
That is a very natural feeling, and many clients experience similar emotions in business disputes, so you are not alone in this situation. Now, let us talk about the agreement you mentioned earlier, because the contract is the most important document in this situation, and it will determine your legal rights.
Yes, we signed a written contract and we both agreed to follow all the terms mentioned in it, but I'm not sure how strong it is legally.
A written and signed contract is usually strong evidence in legal cases, especially if it clearly states the responsibilities and rights of both parties.
That is good to hear, because I was worried that maybe the contract would not be useful in solving this problem.
Let me explain something important in simple language. A contract is a legal promise between two or more people, and if one person does not follow that promise, it is called a breach of contract.
So, in my case, if my partner is not sharing profits and not informing me about decisions, does that mean he's breaking the contract?
Yes, based on your explanation, it strongly suggests that he may be violating the agreement, but we still need to examine the document carefully to confirm this. Let me also teach you a useful phrase, to comply with the agreement, which means to follow the rules written in the contract.
That is a very useful phrase, and I will try to use it in my daily English conversations as well.
Another important phrase is to take legal action, which means to use the law to solve a problem when someone does not cooperate.
I understand, and I think I might need to take legal action if my partner continues this behavior.
Before taking legal action, it is usually better to try peaceful solutions first, because court cases can be long, expensive, and stressful.
Yes, I would prefer a peaceful solution because I don't want unnecessary conflict and I also want to save time and money.
That is a wise decision, and one option is negotiation, where both parties sit together and discuss the problem openly to find a solution.
That sounds reasonable, but I'm not sure if my partner will agree to sit and talk honestly.
If direct negotiation does not work, we can try mediation, where a neutral third person helps both sides communicate and reach an agreement.
And if mediation also fails, what should I do next?
In that case, we can send a formal legal notice, which is a professional and official letter that explains your complaint and demands a solution within a specific time.
I think that would show him that I'm serious and not willing to ignore the problem anymore.
Yes, exactly, and many disputes are resolved at this stage because people often respond quickly when they receive an official legal document.
And if he still doesn't respond after receiving the notice, what will happen next?
If there is no response, then we can file a case in court, and the court will examine the evidence, listen to both sides, and make a final decision.
Will that process take a long time?
Yes, court cases can take several months or even years depending on the complexity of the situation, which is why we always try other methods first. My advice to you is to remain calm, avoid emotional arguments, keep all records safely, including messages, emails, and financial documents, and follow a step-by-step approach.
That is very helpful advice, and I will make sure to organize all my documents and keep everything properly recorded.
Also, always communicate in a professional manner, because anything you say or write could be used as evidence later.
I understand, and I will be careful with my communication from now on. Thank you very much for your time, your patience, and your detailed explanation, because I feel much more confident and informed than before.
You are most welcome, and I am glad that I could help you understand your situation clearly, and please remember that you can contact me anytime if you need further assistance.
Yes, I will definitely contact you again if needed, and I truly appreciate your guidance.
I wish you the best in resolving this matter peacefully, and I hope everything works out in your favor.